I once took a job as a coachman, my money was paid in advance. So I traveled first down to Dover, and then I crossed over to France. I was met by a charming young lady who clothed me in breeches so tight. She said, now that I have a fine coachman to drive me by day and by night. She was such a charming young lady, all in the height of her bloom, and I was a dashing young coachman. I drove her 10 times round the room. She first led me down to the cellar and filled me with liquor so quick. She told me to drink in a hurry. Then she asked for a look at my whip. She held it, viewed it a moment, then handed it back with a smile. She said, I can tell by the length of your lash you can drive in the old-fashioned style. She was such a charming young lady, all in the height of her bloom, and I, being a dashing young coachman, I drove her 10 times round the room. She bade me get into position, so I climbed right up in the seat. 3 swishes I gave with my cracker, then I drove her right down the high street. I handled the whip with good judgment till I was sure of her ways, but the very first tug that I gave on the brake, I broke the mainspring on her chaise. She was such a charming young lady, all in the height of her bloom, and I, being a dashing young coachman, I drove her 10 times round the room. When my mistress grew tired or grew weary, and wanted to take a short rest, she called for her servant maid Sally, the one that I love second best. She said, Sally, we have a fine coachman, he understands driving in style. Till the spring on me chassis is strengthened again, I'll let him drive you for a while. She was such a charming young lady, all in the height of her bloom, and I, being a dashing young coachman, I drove her 10 times round the room.